are a couple of ways you can do it. I prefer to get a 1x4, pine 1x4, and anchor my curtains to it. So I feel that that's, honestly, for me, it is the most secure way to anchor the curtains. You can mount them to the drywall, but if you have kids or a dog or something and they put any weight on the curtain rod, it's going to just yank out of the drywall. So as you can see, I've already cut the 1x4, and this is about a 6-foot window from side to side. It's about 6 feet. I went a little over. I did a 74-inch cut on the 1x4. Real simple. I'll briefly take you through that. It's not hard at all. But around the windows, all windows have 2x4s framing them, and that's basically what you want to hit. So it depends on the size of curtains you're putting on. The hardware may be a little larger, might not fit in the right place, so sometimes you have to go into drywall. Again, I don't prefer that. I like the 1x4, and as you can see, I painted it. I painted it to match the wall. You can paint it any other color you want. And it really, so I used a self-tapping or a self-drilling screw to go through the 1x4 into the stud behind or above the window. And that's in there good. That's not going to come out. Okay, so that's that right there. Okay, so here's the hardware for the curtain rods that we're installing. So as you can see, this one's off. And when you're installing curtain rods, if you can remove these, it's best to remove them so you don't have that added weight on both sides. You can always reinstall them after the hardware is installed and they're ready to be put up. It's just screwed in. Okay, so one thing, let's take a look at this. Take a look at the hardware they did give us. Okay, so as you can see here, these are anchors for the brackets, and these are self-drilling. These will directly go into the sheetrock. Now the ones in here are the kind that you have to drill. You have to get a drill and drill these, drill a hole into the sheetrock, and then insert these in there into the sheetrock. And what they do is they kind of butterfly out and grab onto the sheetrock. But I don't like doing it that way, because sheetrock is not as sturdy as a piece of wood. That's why you prefer, when you're hanging shelves, if you can, or you're hanging anything that's going to require any weight applied to it, you want to go into the studs. You want to go into wood. That's where you're going to get your best support from. Here's a better look at those anchors. Now pine's pretty soft, so I shouldn't have an issue with it going through the wood, but these are kind of long, so we'll see. If I have any issues, then I might have to get a drill out, but that's okay. It's not going to be a big deal. So another thing you might want to get is a longer level. So you've got a longer level there. It's probably about a yard, I'd say. If I had to take a guess, maybe about 2.5 feet or 3 feet there. And that's going to help us mark where we want to put the hardware. So that way the hardware is nice and level. Okay, so when I start to install my hardware, I think that I'm going to put the brackets right over this spot right here, okay? I'll put it right there and on the same side. It's kind of a nice sort of mark or point. They're both, they're on both sides, so you can use that as your point of reference. And again, I will use the center of the window as a point of reference to install the center one. Okay. Level. And I've already told you that this is point of reference where I'm going to hang the hardware. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this here. Look at that bubble. Can you get any bubbles? That's in the center there. It's pretty centered. Okay. And I'm going to make my mark. So I'm going to make a mark here. A light mark, a little light pencil mark. And then I'm going to make a mark here. Okay. And I see my mark. And I see my mark. Okay. Make sure that bubble's centered. Good. And then I'm going to make my mark over here. Okay, good. That mark is made. So now that we have those marks made for my the bottom of the hardware. Okay, put one there. I'll put one there. It's a little light mark. Let me go around. Do the same thing. Okay. Looks good. Mark. All right. So I got my marks. It's all up to you on which one you want to start with. I like to start on the edges. So just line my mark up there. So I'm glad to put the bottom mark because it's easier to see. Right there. Okay. Now I'm going to put my drill down here. I'm going to set this up. That looks about right. And I'm going to just mark. Just kind of push down on the screw and make a little mark there.
Go.
Okay, so as you can see, I put my first screw in. Now these are not self-drilling, so it took a little bit of work. If you want to go get a drill and do a pilot hole, perfectly okay, not a big deal. But I was able to get it in because pine's pretty soft, so it took a little work, but got it in. Okay, and if you can see, there's a little notch right there. And that's where you're going to put the head of the screw through this hole, and it's going to rest in that notch. And then I'm going to put another screw underneath here. I'm going to make a mark, and that's what's going to keep the hardware anchored and in place. So you see there? It's sitting right there. And, oh, look at that. Can you get on that line? I don't know if you can see that line, but it's resting right on that line. So that's pretty good. Okay. And that's what you want. So we're going to go to the next one. Go to the next one over there and do the same thing. Okay, so here goes the middle one. As you can see, didn't start a pilot hole. I'm just drilling into the pine. Just doing it nice and steady and slow. Okay, and there it goes.
Hold on. Thank you for giving me some of this.
Okay, so that one's there. Now let's get our hardware and just check. see where we're at. And boom, right there, pretty much online. Okay, that's good. That's beautiful. Now the third one. So we have the first set of screws in place. I'm going to hang these so I can mark the second set. Okay. So for right now, I just need one. Okay, so set that up. Okay. Push down. Make my little mark. Okay. Mark is made. Make my mark there. Take that off. And same thing with this one. Make my mark. Okay, now those are ready to be drilled. Okay, here we go. As you can see, the curtains are up. Get that out of the way. Probably could have got a little wider curtain, but that's okay. We'll make do with that. We're going to end up putting a sheer curtain behind it anyways. So, yeah, and if we wanted to, we could probably get another set and hang both of them right here. You know, you just have that set in the middle kind of draping down. And that's, you know, that's okay too. It's all about preference. It might not look that bad that way, but yeah, these work. These are nice. You know, I mean, we have blinds behind it, so we're not needing too much privacy from these curtains. They're just sort of decorative and kind of just give us a little privacy when we have the window open. So let's turn off the light and see what that looks like. See the difference in the light in the room.